Hi, good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm actually trapped in the car because it's raining outside. I'm not really trying to go outside right now because it's raining. It's a beautiful day, but it's raining. And even though I'm in front of my house, it's raining. I'd step outside, but it's raining. Hi, Mrs. Bellamy. So I was just thinking, right? I had just a couple of conversations with my friend this morning, and I'm actually going to go live when I get in the house and settled. But I wanted to get these thoughts out really quickly. So the other day, so the other, so the other day, I posted about not needing hair legislation, like legislation for our hair or, places that are discriminating against our hair and things like that. And I realized that I think it was Brother Malcolm X, that was saying that we really don't need to be trying to get into places that don't like us. And as I was going into a grocery store, kind of saying this, and if we realize that we don't have to force our way into places that don't want us, we would really see our power. Okay, so like if my hair is not allowed in a certain place or institution, then maybe my presence doesn't need to be there either. And if my presence is a present, then the removal of my presence will be very effective. So I don't care about hair legislation, because anywhere that I'm going that they don't like my hair, that they will discriminate against my hair, I don't belong there. I don't want to be there. If it's a school, do we realize that if your child attends a charter school, or if your child attends a certain school, that school is receiving money for that child being there? I'm not going to force my way in. I'm not going to force my money in to a place that doesn't welcome me. I'm not going to bestow my economic power to entities that do not like me. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. If I cannot wear my hair, I cannot be there. If my children cannot wear their hair, they cannot be there. We need to be in the military. I don't need to be in the military, especially not of this country. Disclaimer. Wow, thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you. I've been drinking water. Thank you so much. Good morning. I would like to disclaimer. If we have any people who happen to be watching this who are military or serving in the military, this is absolutely no disrespect to you. We appreciate you and we love you. But the way the country is kind of running, they're not showing a lot of respect for us. So even though I appreciate the service of our servicemen, I do. If you're discriminating against soldiers because of their hair, maybe we don't need to be there. See how easy it is to fight when you're missing certain people. So they can be your soldiers, but they cannot be accepted? I don't know. I don't know about that one. So, but then I was just thinking, again, wherever you are that your hair is not welcome, as us being colored people, perhaps we should stop forcing ourselves and our money into places that don't want us. I'm really okay not to go where I'm not wanted. I'm totally fine. They won't let us in. Fine. I mean, there are several places that we don't let them in. There are many, many, many entities where other cultures of people are not necessarily allowed in. There are spaces that are totally protected and can and should be Black only. There's nothing wrong with that. There's power actually in that. So I don't know that I need to be going anywhere that I cannot wear my hair. If that be your school, if that be your church, if that be your wherever. I don't need to go anywhere where I cannot wear my hair. That's what I mean when I say I do not need hair legislation. It's not the only school on the planet. They made my son cut his hair. Yeah, right. We're not going to be there. I just think that, again, there's so many of us, we have so much power that if we removed ourselves and then started our own, everything else would suffer. But we're so pressed to be included, and it's still not going to keep anybody from oppressing us. These institutions are just rooms and buildings. I love the way you think. I love the way you think. They are. And we need to be creating our own rooms and our own buildings. That's what we need to be doing. That's what we need to be doing. So I don't want my child or our children to walk into buildings feeling a level of anxiety about, will they accept me for my hair? Will they accept me for my skin? No. We want you to be in a place where you feel welcome, loved, warm, where you can really thrive in a loving environment. How can you thrive under a microscope where people are picking apart your skin tone, picking apart the texture of your hair, picking apart the way you speak, picking apart the way that you parent, or picking apart things about you? How can our children truly thrive in these environments? I've had a theory that when our parents were growing up, they were like, you have to be twice as good as somebody else in order to be made equal. That's not true. Excellence is just a standard for Black people. We're just excellent. That's just who we are. You don't have to be twice as good as anything. You were just naturally born twice as good. Being yourself. Because if you have the mindset that I got to be twice as good to be equal to somebody else, then you believe you're inferior instead of understanding that your mind works twice as fast. You'll understand just the DNA of you is superior. Just your DNA is superior. That's just it. Just because you were born, Black, there's an expertise of mathematics that runs through your DNA. You don't have to be twice as good. You were born 3 times as good. All you have to do is walk in your excellence. That's it. And our institutions should be considered excellent. Not excellent because we are comparing ourselves to, excellent because we just are. I don't compare myself to alabaster Americans because they're not on my level. They're not on my level. If I were not Black, I would want to be Black too. If I wasn't Black, I would really want to be Black. Heck, I am Black and I wish I was darker. Just like I wish I could wake up and look like I was from Sudan. I wish I could wake up one day. If I woke up with beautiful bluish dark skin, I would be super excited. It would be like a dream come true. Every winter I'm losing all my color. It's ridiculous. I'm serious. I'm not joking. I'm serious. I'm very serious in what I'm saying. But I do not need hair legislation because I already know that I am ordained. I already know that I'm good enough. I do not need to be in anybody's society that picks me apart. I don't need to be in anybody's society that says I'm not good enough. I don't need to be in anybody's society that views me as less than. I don't view me as less than. I view me as above. And I've had to do a lot of forgiving of myself just from being Black in America and being raised in a country that has told me that my men are low, that I am low, that my children are low, when actually everything that I see with logic proves that I am not. It proves that we are not. We are the most compassionate, loving people. We are the most compassionate, loving people. Like, even in the midst of turmoil, even in the most impoverished areas, even in the most disenfranchised areas, there is still love and community. Imagine what it would be with healthier minds. You understand what I'm saying? We have to have incubated spaces and protect those incubated spaces. The Black dollar in the Black community is the most powerful community. It's very powerful. So if you're in a predicament or you're in an area where you're trying to force and needle your way into something because you're Black and you're like, oh, we deserve to be here, we're just as good. No, if you think you're just as good, you already think you're inferior. I don't think we need to compete in their arenas. Listen, if there were no Black people in the NFL, who would watch it? If there were no Black people in the NBA, who would watch it? The greats, the legends, the GOATs, they're not white. They're not Asian. They're not Latino. I'm not saying anything negative about these cultures, but like golf, tennis, nobody even cared about these things until Black bodies came into these places and dominated them. We feel like we have to needle our way. They're going to treat us just as good. No, I don't care about how you treat me. I don't care. When we were not allowed into their institutions, we were not allowed into their schools, when we were not allowed into their country clubs, when we were not allowed into their spaces and their rooms and their buildings, we had our own and we were producing excellence. But as soon as we started to push our way into places that we were not welcomed, it watered us down. It watered us down. When we were our only competition, you have to be good. I have a little cousin right now who's out in Virginia. Now, legitimately, both of her parents are athletes. Legitimately. Her mother is a track star. Her father is an athlete. It's kind of ridiculous. I mean, there's no way for her to have done anything but be excellent as far as track and field is concerned. But she's out here in Virginia dominating against these. She just started track and just came out the gate running hurdles, came out the gate hitting hurdles, came out the gate setting records, just came out the gate setting records. It's just in her DNA. That's why I'm just going to repeat this. The beginning of this whole thing was, that's why I don't need hair legislation. Because I don't care about being in a society that doesn't recognize me as equal. I only care about my people. There's a lot of people who care about other people. I'm not one of those people. I only care about us. Everybody else got their own cause. They got their own missions. They got their own leagues and what leagues are Lullaby League and Lollipop Guilds or whatever. Everybody else has their own thing, and I think that they should go ahead and support their own thing. I think that we should not be intimidated into thinking that our spaces need to be integrated. I don't think that we need to be intimidated into thinking that our spaces need to be integrated. Integration was a vicious double cross. Nobody mentioned that. Integration was a vicious double cross. Before we had the ability to go to other places, we had our own. We had our own butchers. We had our own grocers. We had our own cleaners. We had our own everything. I don't need hair legislation. I need spaces to go into that are Black, that are protected. That's what I need. So if you're telling me that we are not welcome here with our hair, then we will just take our money and go over here. Our money is our power. Black lives matter. Green lives matter. Green lives matter. And our green lives, as in our money, as in our dollars, are our power. Stop forcing your way into places that don't want you, because it empowers them monetarily to keep going. You know what I mean? But we're so busy being entertained. It's another story. So I gotta go in here and do some stuff. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm home and I'm excited. It's still raining. It's still raining. So get up out of here. But you guys have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful time. I think it's Monday. Yeah, it's Monday.